Hey there, junior scientists! Ever wonder where rain comes from? Or how rivers are always flowing? It all starts with the amazing water cycle. Picture this: the sun, a giant ball of fire, beaming down on the earth. Now, imagine that warmth reaching the vast, sparkling oceans. When the sun's rays touch the ocean's surface, something incredible happens. The water gets warmer. As the water heats up, it starts to change. It transforms from a liquid into a gas called water vapor. This process is called evaporation. It's like magic, but it's science. Think of a puddle after a rainstorm. You see it shrinking, right? That's evaporation in action. The water doesn't disappear, it rises into the air as invisible vapor. Pretty cool, huh? Now, this water vapor is like a tiny, adventurous traveler. It's lighter than air, so it floats upwards into the atmosphere. The higher it goes, the cooler the air gets. Remember how your science teacher said hot air rises? This is because warm air is lighter than cold air. As the water vapor rises into the cooler air, it starts to cool down too. When it cools, it changes back from a gas into tiny water droplets. This process is called condensation. Think about when you see your breath on a chilly day. That's condensation too. The warm, moist air from your lungs meets the cold air, and poof, tiny water droplets appear. As more and more water vapor condenses, those tiny water droplets clump together. They form larger and larger groups, eventually creating something we all know and love: clouds. Clouds are like giant, fluffy gatherings of these tiny water droplets, floating high in the sky. But wait, there's more. Did you know there are different types of clouds? Some look like cotton balls, while others are flat and gray. Clouds are like the weather's mood ring, giving us clues about what's coming next. Some clouds bring rain, while others bring snow or even hail. It all depends on the temperature and how much moisture is in the air. Section 4. Back to Earth, rain, snow, and the water cycle continues. When these cloud condos get too crowded with water droplets, they release their load back to Earth. This is what we call precipitation. If the air is warm, the droplets fall as rain. If it's cold enough, they freeze and fall as snow, sleet, or hail. So, the water that evaporated from the ocean has now returned to the Earth. But the journey doesn't end there. Some of the rainwater soaks into the ground, replenishing groundwater, which is where we often get our drinking water. Some flows over the land, forming streams and rivers. And guess what? Many of these rivers flow back into the ocean, starting the cycle all over again. That's why we call it a cycle. It's a continuous process. Section 5. Frozen reservoirs, glaciers, and their meltdown. Now, let's talk about snow for a moment. In some really cold places, like high up in the mountains, the snow that falls doesn't melt away completely. Instead, it piles up year after year, forming giant rivers of ice called glaciers. These glaciers are like giant frozen reservoirs, storing huge amounts of fresh water. But here's the thing: our planet is getting warmer because of something called climate change. As the Earth warms, these glaciers are melting faster than ever before. This might sound fun at first. Who doesn't love a melted ice cube? But it's actually a big problem. When glaciers melt too quickly, they release too much water into rivers and oceans. This can lead to flooding in some areas and rising sea levels in others. And remember, rising sea levels can cause big problems for coastal communities. Section 6. Protecting our water, a shared responsibility. The water cycle is a delicate balance, and it's up to all of us to protect it. Every drop of water we use for drinking, washing, or watering our plants is part of this incredible journey. By using water wisely and keeping our environment clean, we can help ensure that the water cycle continues to bring life to our planet for generations to come. Remember, even small actions can make a big difference. Turn off the tap while you brush your teeth, fix leaky faucets, and encourage your friends and family to do the same. By working together, we can keep the water flowing and protect our precious planet.